Well, my two trusty associates, Vern. How's it going there, old buddy? Good to see you can make the review. And of course, Sparky. Oh, Sparky, I see you're on the computer there. You're doing a little research for the review, eh? And I also see there's a glass next to you and it's empty. Geez, hope you're in decent shape there for the review. So we're locating the distillery, Tomatin Distillery, and it was one of the largest distilleries in the world back in the 70s. And then it got in trouble during the Whisky Loch. That was the 80s. It was hard on all the distilleries of Scotland. A lot of them did not recover. But it was purchased by a Japanese firm in the 1985, and it's been doing quite well. It's focusing more on quality than quantity. Well, it's another stormy evening on the coast here, and I'm putting a little extra layer on. Need a warm dram to warm me up. So we have Tomatin, a distillery that was at one time the largest distillery in Scotland. I think it was the largest the malt distillery in the world, and that was after the turn of the century, I believe, but has some some unusual things that I can mention. Its fermentation time is one of the longest, if not the longest, in Scotland of a malt liquor. I think it's 167, 168 hours. But anyways, Tomatin. This is the 18. I've got the port wood. Really like the port. I have the Tomatin, which is a little more, well, some people say it's a little more intense. I find it quite mellow. I'll probably get a review on those in the near future. But this is the 18, and you can see I've sipped at it a bit, and we're going to give it a review. We're going to try to get through this review a little faster than I normally spend in these reviews, so try to stay focused and not babble too much. We'll start off with the nose and get that going. And I always, on that first hit with this, I've had it, obviously close to my nose before, but I get a very rich, sweet, pudding, almost or butter tarts. Sweet Christmas puddings with a little leather in the background. And then, a bit of banana cake. You could say the nutty fudge, maybe hazelnut fudge, almond fudge. A little bit of that sherry is coming through now with sort of a sweet and sour berry notes, raisins, maybe tart berries, the red berries. That could be the currants, berries we have around here, the blackberries, huckleberries. But in the background, back to the leather polish there. Yeah, maybe a wee bit of tobacco. Boy, this is really wandering all over the place, and I'm even getting well, the vanilla just hit me, and a bit of the orange zest there. But there's some aromatic stuff going on here in the background, and it just something there. Sometimes it's hard for me to identify, so I'm going to pull it away for a minute, and we'll go back to it. So, but first impression is sweet, you know, sugary. Kind of when I talk about the, you know, a sweet dessert. When I think about butter tarts, I'm also thinking about rich pastries. You know, so. Well, now we're getting we're almost getting apples and oranges. And in the background again, tobacco. And you know, there's something kind of herbal in the background too. But here come the spices. Yeah, here come the spices. Almost like a cilantro. Yeah. Aniseed. Wow. Well, I said I was going to sort of move on here, not get too carried away. We've nosed it. There's a lot going on with the nose. Yeah, it's inviting. So, it's time for the palate. Sláinte. Well, sweet again. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. Here come the raisins. Raisins, actually, we've got cake full of dark fruit. Yeah, it's like the Christmas cakes or the heavier cakes that are full of dark fruit. You know, call it a warm raisin cake. And those tart berries are showing up, and they could be raspberries, definitely blackberries. Not so much blueberries, more the tart berries. Maybe some unripe huckleberries are just starting to ripen there. And now the sweet stuff again. Yeah. I haven't had orange marmalade for a while. We're getting a little bit of that. We got a little bit of that dark chocolate. And you know, I just realized something from the nose I was trying to identify from before. Isn't it funny how things will hit you later? It's that aromatic pipe tobacco, amphora. Years ago, when I smoked pipe tobacco, I don't smoke anymore, but you open up a bag of amphora and it had that aromatic smell to it. You never forget it. So that's what it is. That's what it is. But anyways, back to the palate. Kind of wandering here. Well, I'm going to top her up. So we've got the blackberries, we've got the currants, and I mentioned orange marmalade. I talked about the dark chocolate mixed with nuts. maybe hazelnuts and almonds. But we're getting a little of the spiciness now, and I'm getting something. I don't always get it with every whiskey, but I'm getting some ginger and nutmeg. And that means I'm going to get a little of that tobacco in the background. It's just identifying the difference between the nutmeg and the tobacco. Sort of bounces back and forth. I noticed that is now starting to get sweet. It's turning sweeter. And I'm waiting for the bitterness because I've read reviews on this, and a lot of people seem to be getting the wood toward the end, but for some reason I'm not getting the bitterness. I'm getting a little bit of the wood, I think, but I don't think I'm experiencing what they're experiencing. It's been a pretty pleasant dram so far. So the first time I did drink this, I did get the astringent taste, but I'm not getting it right now. So maybe I don't know, maybe the whiskey's sitting for a while, maybe it's oxidizing a bit. But yeah. Let's try the finish. Again, I've got some sweetness, but it's now wandering over toward the chocolate, the dark chocolate, and as we keep wandering toward the background, oh, that leather's showing up. The leather notes and a bit of the tobacco. And it's mixed in with the sweetness. There's still the sweetness, the raisins and the dark fruit. So it's not really dry. I've got a lot of moisture in my mouth, so it's not what I know. Some of the reviewers say it has a dry finish. I'm not getting it. I would say overall it's definitely a medium to maybe a wee bit on the long side. So it's funny because nothing stands out with this drink, but it's actually improved from when I first had it. I was a little disappointed when I first tried the Tomatin. I haven't drank a lot of it, and that's a sign. I was maybe struggling a bit. It wasn't what I was, I'd had really good experience with the port wood, and I really liked the Kaboka, and I had another one that I had in another friend's place, and I had one in the bar one time years ago, but I just thought, boy, I've got to try the 18. 18's well priced, and I was just not that impressed with it right off the bat. I was getting what a lot of the reviewers were talking about, the wood, the astringency, not getting a lot of the sherry notes, but I'm getting a lot different now. I mean, I'm getting more of the sherry notes now, and I'm not getting the astringent bitterness. So the whiskey's changed. Has my palate changed? I don't know. I haven't added any water. I did add water before, remember, and it didn't help 100%. It helped a bit, but it also dilutes it. So, but I'm going to have just another shot here for, this is just for the review's sake. So. I said it wouldn't take long on this review, so. But I'm definitely not getting the bitterness. It's definitely mellowed out this whiskey. I think maybe that's the key, is let it sit for a while. you know. Let it air a bit, because this is definitely a much nicer drink than it was when I first opened it. And I haven't served this to anybody, so this is what I have drank. And I probably feel better serving it now, but I think this is a case of the whiskey itself needed to oxidize a bit. And it's definitely a more enjoyable drink now. So overall, when I went into this review, I wasn't overly excited. I wasn't ready to, ready for the big marks and that. In fact, I thought this might be one of my, one of the slammers that I was going to do on a whiskey, because I hadn't really enjoyed this whiskey. I was starting to sort of try to figure it out, but I'm definitely seeing a big improvement here. And I guess what I can say is that I would probably, where I was probably thinking in the low 80s, I would give this an 85 or an 86 now, because it's definitely, there's an improvement, and I find it a lot more enjoyable. I'm not getting what I was getting before. So you know what, it's got it's 46% ABV. It's non-chill filtered. There's no coloring added. It's really priced well. I don't know, 140, 150-ish in Canada. In Canada, that's, in the States, that means probably 110, 120, I don't know, 120. But where do you find an 18 for that price now? I mean, well, it ticks all the boxes that I like to see tick for, what I call a quality whiskey. I think Ralphie calls it an integrity mark, but I'm just going to call it a quality mark. I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to finish off by, asking you to drink intelligently, drink wisely. Do not drink and drive. And until the next time, Sláinte.